Hello, everyone. Good to see the smiling faces. I was going to mention something before we get rolling here. Um, on the 7th, there's going to be a class in the evening at Lloydell, and this will be during the next morning would be, next day would be the eclipse, and it'd be the 7th and the 8th. And we're going to do crystal bowls on the 8th in the morning. And then on the 7th, we'll be doing a class of meditation, and we'll be doing that there at the, let's see, which hall?
Lyceum.
Lyceum Hall, we'll be doing that in. And there's a lot of other things going on then for that weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It should be a nice energy, and any of you can make it there, that'd be great. I think that'll be a lot of fun to do. And Lloydell has the glasses, and you can get the glasses so you can watch the eclipse. I think it's a very small fee for the glasses, and you can get them. And it should be a wonderful day. I'm hoping for perfect weather so we can all enjoy it. But that'd be great. Well, let me open with a prayer. Dear God, in all love and thy brilliance, as we walk our pathway of life, we may accept and understand all obstructions before us, may deal with them in the highest and best way. May we be guided by the hand, sight, and eye understanding. Amen. Those of you, if there's anyone new, we're broadcasting from Ocala, Florida. And my name's Reverend Gregory Kehn, and I live in Lloydell in the summer. I've been up there as a registered medium there for years. And we'll be headed back up. Well, let's see here. We'll be going up probably starting out maybe the end of the month. We'll get lined up and get packed up and be on our way. So we'll be there for the eclipse. And that should be a lot of fun. They're going to have a lot of things in the auditorium going on. We do have the Lloydell program now, and it's online. If anybody wants to go look at that, that's online. And we have all the classes and seminars and hotels and rooming houses, everything there that you can need to reach or communicate with. I'd like to start tonight with the thought of how do we pick up what we pick up? What symbols do we have that we recognize? Excuse me. What symbols do we have that we recognize that you yourself use to recognize spirit coming to you? Is there something there that means a lot to you that they'll use as a symbol? Now, for example, I look at events in life and I realize that there are different things occurring around us that our peripheral vision picks up on, and we realize, but as soon as we look at it consciously, we then have it disappear. Because our conscious mind doubts everything and wonders about everything. And I find that the more we're aware of that, the more we're going to have it come clear and stay clear for us. I've actually got into practice of if I'm looking in a certain direction and I see spirit bring something in from the side, in the peripheral vision, I'll continue to look in that same direction so they can continue to give me more. And there are times that'll come through very clearly. And then there's other times where my mind will just shift right to it and focus on it and it's gone. But I find that everyone has that ability. And I do believe all of you have had that circumstance occur where you've seen things and at moments wonder what it was. You know, what was it? Because I look so quickly and it's gone. I find that right now, with everything going on the planet and all the craziness happening, I find that spirit's working with us even more, and we have the ability to pick up on it even stronger. But we're needing to trust what we're feeling. How many of you, by a raise of hands, have had some experiences recently that you feel spirit's trying to reach through, but yet you sometimes feel like I'm not fully getting the message or I'm fully not aware of what they're really doing? Because I see spirit wanting to reach through to us more, and it's helping us practice the ability to know they're there. And I want to say, whether it's verbally or mentally, put out the thought to them that you're thanking them for coming. And whatever the message may be, whether you've understood it or not, doesn't matter. You're giving them recognition that you saw it, you felt it, you understood some feeling about it, and ask them to come back. And when you ask them to come back, they're going to come through more and give you a little more. But just remember, analytical mind, because it's doubting and questioning everything, it becomes more difficult then for them to come through. Also, I was thinking about it. When I dream, when I remember dreams, it's usually very vivid. And if we set the intent when we're going to bed that we have an issue on our mind, we have a decision to make, let's say, and we're going to put out that thought before we go to bed, we set that intent to please give me this while I'm sleeping. Let me wake with it and understand it. And please come through to me in a way that I may fully understand. Because we can set that intent and we may have a dream about it. We may have an answer when we wake up in the morning that we're feeling assured as to what to make the decision on or which way to go. And it's not always a dream where they come through in a dream. They just may come through with that really solid feeling of, I wake up and I know I need to do this instead of doing that. And to follow that is something very, very important. Have you been noticing recently that at moments you're feeling moments of confusion, that sometimes it's like I'm stopping for a moment and going, what was I doing? Or what did I want in this room? I feel like there's so much energy going on right now around us that we're definitely affected by it. And we're needing to realize that unknowingly, we leave ourselves wide open to picking up on all these other energies that not only could be somebody else's energy, but the events and energies that's going on in the world. And I've been finding recently that there are things popping in my head about different events going on, and I'm realizing that it had nothing to do with me. I'm just picking up on the random energy. And, I've avoided watching news. I've stayed away from that because it's really not news. It's just their opinions of whatever they want people to believe. But I feel an energy coming that we're going to have quite a shakeup coming up that I want to say April, May, we're going to have some planetary stuff occurring. I'm not an astrologer, I really don't understand it all, but I feel the energy building that's going to be pretty climactic and people are really going to have some awakenings. Not everywhere on the planet is everyone going to awaken at once, but it's certainly going to be an awakening where people wake up and realize there has to be change. And we're needing to look at our own lives and say, what am I picking up on? What am I missing? What am I feeling that I'm feeling strong about? And what am I feeling that I'm missing it? Now, has any of you had an experience recently? Now, I'm going to term it sort of blacking out for a moment or blanking out for a moment. Nothing to do with like an unconscious energy, but just really like I just go blank for a moment and it's like, what in the world was I thinking or doing? And I'm just out there floating around. How many of you have had that happen recently? Because I'm seeing that energy a lot, and I find myself, my wife will sometimes say to me, "Where did you go?" Because there's moments I'm just not there, and I find the energy is something that the veil of energy between the spirit world and us has been getting thinner, and we can have a lot more come through and a lot more happen that we before may not have really even recognized, but it's coming through more. And also, I feel all the turmoil. Now, I'll say it this way. I had a lady say to me recently, she said, how come the world is getting so crazy and all the wrong people are in the powerful positions and they're manipulating the planet around us and everything and work and all? And I want to say, I find that to be very true in some ways where the true colors of people, who they are, how they act, what they decide, is surfacing. The people that in the past could put on a good front and, let's say, snooker people into believing what they want them to believe, that's wearing out. And it's coming to a point now where people are waking up and going, you know, I don't believe them. They're telling me these things, but I don't believe them. And I know they're lying about something, or they're, in a sense, faking something. And I find that that's occurring more and more. So I want to say a lot of people that, say, for example, a few of them I've read for have commented to me, I wasn't aware of these things before, but now I'm aware. You know, I'm picking up on it. I'm feeling it. How many of you find recently that you really have been annoyed with people? I mean, actually quite annoyed. And at times feeling like the tolerance is out the window. Now, I know everybody here will be perfectly polite, but the energy I feel there is something that you're feeling this reaction within yourself. That is a huge part of your intuitive ability to follow what you're feeling. And when you're feeling it, know that it's the truth and know that it's not something you're just reacting to, it's something you're picking up on. You know, there's so many things going on right now that people are trying to maneuver or present something that is not a reality. And I've watched it happening, and the egos have been just amazing as to how they think they can get away with things or present things and have everyone believe it. And I think each one of you have had some things happen where you've recognized this and that you're pulling back a bit and realizing, wait a minute, what am I really feeling? It's almost like not setting aside your conscious awareness, but really ramping up your intuitive awareness that it's like, okay, I'm consciously dealing with it. I'm communicating verbally with someone, but in the next level, what am I really picking up on? What am I really getting in tune to here? And I've heard it happen many times in my own life in working with people and that I've been seeing these energies occurring. And there's so many people now that I know and recognize the tolerance is getting really thin. So just be aware that's a norm for our time in life right now. And we're needing to accept that our abilities are increasing. We may need to understand, all right, if I used to feel this, what it meant. But now if I feel things are stronger, what does that mean? Does it mean the same thing that it did before? Or is it something that I'm picking up stronger with and it's actually more meaningful? Or maybe a little bit of a shift in how it, you know, what the meaning actually is. Has anyone here been having symbols occur that not just once maybe, but we'd have more than once symbols occurring that is repeated and we're going, but I didn't quite get it. You know, I know that spirit's reaching me. I know that I'm seeing this for a reason, but I want to follow through in a deeper way and understand the reason. There's been times, you know, people talk about daydreaming, and I many times will have things come to me that I'll get a picture in my mind or someone will pop in my mind. And when it's a person, usually I just send out thoughts and prayer and healing. But there's different events pop in my mind to be aware of. And I believe that when we're in that moment of relaxation, that spirit can reach through to us, they will. And even though it may be a little window, they'll reach through to us and give us something. And I feel the need to be very calm about it, but to focus on the idea that, okay, put out the thought to spirit. What does this fully mean? Is there a message involved in it? And allow yourself then to be in a calm state that you can pick up on it and it's going to come through more clear. I've also noticed recently, not only are our guides that are with us, that are the regular guides we recognize, we feel things. How many of you had an experience where you feel like there's a new guiding energy or a new way they're giving you things that you haven't quite figured out yet? And at times it'll come through in a way where it's no, I know I'm feeling it, but it's like a new way of doing it. And I'm not quite plugging into how to do it. What did it fully mean? I feel that we're receiving energies in a stronger manner than what we've normally been used to. I had a lady make a comment while I was working with her. She said, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having these emotional reaction to things that's either a very positive reaction or a very negative reaction. And I feel that is something that she's being given that energy and recognizing that it's a yes and a no. I had that thought, it's a yes, and it's wonderful, and I feel good about it. Then I have something where it's like, whoa, I don't like that. I don't like feeling that way. And that definitely would be a no. I feel there's a few of you who've been having that happen where it's not necessarily in words, but the deeper feeling. It's like, this is perfectly acceptable and okay, I can go right with it, where it's something I need to just step back from. And I see it happening quite a bit. That's really, really a strong energy. So be aware of that occurring because we're all going through shifts that I believe are wonderful, but we're needing to understand them and understand what we're sensing. And recently, I've been finding that during the day, I have myself at a point where I feel like I sort of pop out for a second or two and I come back. How many of you have had moments where it's like, where in the world did I go? I wasn't here for a moment. I was like gone for a moment. And I feel that energy is occurring. And I feel at a higher level, our soul mind is having communications with our consciousness. And when that occurs, we may consciously blank out for a moment because it's almost like a download of things being given to us in the conscious mind. And I've seen it happen recently where after having that occur, I would have a whole new thought pattern about something or a whole new view on something. And I find that that's the higher level sharing with us the reality of what's really going on, that we may not consciously understand it or view it, but yet at another level, I feel at a soul level, we really know. And it's working very well. Has any of you recently been experiencing the thought of not only a meditative level, but the idea of healing and working with sending out healing? Because I've had more things happen recently where things come to mind where I want to send healing to them. And it's not only someone calling me up and say someone hasn't felt good, but the idea of just picking up on them and they pop in your mind and they've stuck with you. I just had recently a friend of mine that I don't talk to all the time. He called me and I'd been thinking about him all afternoon and he called. And it was like, okay, we're making connections at another level, and then we're fulfilling them on the earth plane level, the conscious level here, whether it be phone or whatever form, but we're connecting. And how many of you recently have been having thoughts at times about somebody, and we're busy, we put it off, and then a little later, it's like we either hear from them or we hear about them. And that's occurring a lot more. So I find it fascinating that in the time of all this stress going on, that in one way, it's a lot of stress and some people are having difficulty. We're actually being given this ability to be more in tune and tap into it even deeper, but we're needing to give it some space and energy to allow it to happen. Let's create that space and energy and allow yourself to create that energy flow where anytime they're needing to, they can step in and give us something and we recognize it and we take the moment to really recognize it. Because sometimes we get caught up in things and get diverted and we're not allowing it to come through in a manner that we really get the whole message. It's like listening to a phone call and hang up before they're done. It's like, I know Spirit has done that with me where it's like, my mind drew me off in another direction. And it was like, wait a minute, go back to it and let them finish what they're giving us. And it's important to do so. Has anyone noticed more accidents where, whether it's a vehicle accident or someone physically getting harmed in some manner, that there's more of that going on that you hear about and know about? Because I feel a lot of that happening, and people are recognizing that it's like, on some levels, you feel like some things are careless, and somebody could just hurt themselves. But I really feel the energy's out of sync. We could be doing something we've done 1,000 times, but we could do something and get hurt doing it. And I believe that the energy and time is out of sync. I've noticed it a few times during the day where it seems like the time allotment in being there, I look at the watch and it's like 2 hours later. I couldn't believe the time went by that fast. And it's like the events that are occurring so rapidly. And I find that we're actually having little time warps that people are sometimes going, I can't believe the day went away that fast, or what was I doing that took that long? And, okay, I should have had it done at 2 o'clock and it's 4 o'clock and I'm still not finished. I feel all these things are out of whack a bit. I was looking at my watch and my watch, I hadn't, it didn't change automatically. And I'm looking at my watch going, it's like, wait a minute, what time is it? And I feel like it's a good example to say, looking at the watch and then look at what's happening to us consciously we're aware of. It's been a little crazy at times. I mean, I've lost whole days where I would just have to go, wait a minute, what day is this? And it's like, I feel like we're stepping in and out of that conscious awareness. And at times we're doing it so much that we're losing track of where we're at that moment. Has anyone here been having dreams that have been either more vivid or more often, that at times now you're having a dream where you're thinking, I don't normally dream that much, but yet it's coming through in a dream state? Because I feel like that is occurring more. And I don't always remember my dreams. I'll have vivid ones that'll come through, but not every night am I remembering it when I wake up. I know I dreamt, but I'm not really remembering it. And I find that we're having a lot going on from the soul mind to the consciousness, and we're getting the downloads while we're sleeping. And at times we realize, wait a minute, I know I dreamt something, but I can't put my finger on it. I can't remember it. I've been trying to practice the idea of setting more intent to remember them when I wake up and to lock it in more instead of it just being something I know I dreamt something. But that's going to be occurring more often. I'm not sure to explain the events that I feel April, May with, but I really feel it's a big energy change. And I feel when this happens, there's going to be people that really get it together and are solid and anchored and handling things well. And then there's going to be people that are going to really be flipping out. So just be aware of that time span. I don't really have it as any dates or anything to say, but I feel that time span building. And I would just be very alert to the idea of how many things people can get a little goofy on that could actually be ended up dangerous, say, for example, on the highway or something like that, for people to be watchful. I kept feeling an energy of healing energy. And as it comes in, my body temperature changed. I felt a warm, like almost a warm breeze over me. And I felt an energy now of looking at the world around us and realizing we can be a catalyst of change for everyone around us. And we're needing to take time on a daily level. And even if you do it more than once a day, to put out that thought and energy to bring harmony, to bring calmness, whether it is focusing on it in a sense of maybe a workplace or focusing on it in a sense of family, to set that intent for the world around us to bring the calmness and the harmony. I know there's many groups right now that are putting forth a great deal of energy in prayer and healing to bring balance and bring harmony. There's some events going on in the world right now that are going to be very explosive a little bit later. And when this happens, there's going to be, I would say, to the conscious person, they're not going to understand the events because they're going to shift so quickly and they'll be shocked and surprised by it. But when this is occurring, I get a feeling of this being something could bring in more war type activities, and that we're needing to send out the thought and prayer for that to bring calmness, harmony, and healing. Because I feel there's some areas in the world that are going to be exploding, and people are really going to have to get a grip on what are they really doing. Mankind is not the most kind energy at times to each other. And we're coming to the point where that's going to be very apparent in certain pockets in the world around us. And we're fine where we're at. We're going to be fine where we're at. I don't feel any issue in that form. But I felt the energy there that it's going to be so important to be able to focus on the thought and meditativeness and prayer to bring the healing to the environments that are going to be very disrupted. And I do feel quite disrupted. As I mentioned earlier, I don't pay attention to the news, and I don't know what's going on in the Middle East and Gaza and all these things that are happening, but I really feel an energy building. And it's like when Spirit shows me a keg with a fuse, it's certainly a symbol of an explosive energy or event. And I've been having that come through to me. And we're just needing to surround everyone in that light and level there of love. I was going to take and do a short meditation, just a short one, and then I would like to open it up to questions. And if you have anything that you really have interest in the events that are occurring in your life, what's going on around you that you're picking up on, you're sensing, you're feeling, what would be there that you've been noticing a difference in, that you recognize a really different feeling, or let's say what you used to feel has been enhanced more with a new feeling with it. Let's close our eyes for a moment, just relax, and start with the top of our head and just calmly feel like we have warm water running over us. As it flows over us gently, it's warm, it's comfortable, it's peaceful, it's cleansing. And as we allow the cleansing energy to flow through us, it flows over our head, through our body, passing our ears, passing through and our neck and our shoulders. As we allow the energy to flow, we feel warm and blessed all over. We feel a healing energy moving through us in a very patient and peaceful manner. As it moves through our chest, as it moves down your spine, as we allow this energy to flow, it's just a free flowing, wonderful feeling of peace, harmony, health, bringing balance to our body and our mind. As it moves through our hips, as it goes down our legs, as we feel that warm change, we know we're at peace, we're in harmony. Spirit's with us, working through us. As we go down through the calves and our legs, and the energy flows through us to the earth. As it flows to the earth, it brings healing, and you watch the energy expand and travel on the surface of the earth to everyone in need, that they may be helped, healed, guided, uplifted. As we allow ourselves to relax with the harmony and the peace, knowing that the world is going to shift into a healing energy and that it's going to bring harmony, calmness, and happiness. The events are occurring that are going to occur that people have to experience, they've chosen to, and they can move through this in a positive and having a happy, loving way of doing it. Amen. Yeah, does anyone have any question?
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Hey,
How are
so
you?
I'm good, thank you.
So my question is, sometimes I have dreams where my grandma comes through and she's in spirit now, but she doesn't ever talk. She's just sitting beside me and smiling. Is there a
Now,
reason to talk in spirit
are
or in
are
the
you
dreams?
picking up on a mental telepathy?
I don't know.
Well, the reason I say that is when they have passed, how long ago did she pass over?
18 years.
I feel an energy that she's giving you support and she is showing her presence that she's with you in your life and that
Oh,
she's always there. And the not talking, I feel sometimes it's a practicing of what am I feeling from them in the sense of their presence being there. And at times it would be like a mental telepathy. Then at times their presence would be, I'm with you, I love you, and I'm sharing this energy with you. And it is a healing energy and a grounding energy where it helps ground and anchor you in your life. Would you recognize your grandmother liking lilacs?
she loved them. Yes.
Because as we're talking about her, I'm smelling lilac and it's very strong. And her way of reaching you, she's showing me, and she moved her hands and went like this with you. And I feel the energy would be the healing energy and to bring harmony. You've found recently there's different events going on that you've had worry about.
Yep. Hmm.
And I feel it's around you, and it could be family, could also be work at times too, but I feel more family. And she put her hands on your face like, just, I love you and I'm with you and I want you to be at peace.
Aw,
And to know that what's occurring is going to be occurring the way it has to be, and that it's something that your healing energy is already very much involved in sharing the healing energy. And I don't feel anything that I would really say is anything concerning. I just feel that she's happy to be with you. Now, which side was she sitting on?
think my right?
Your right side.
I think so.
Now, you're right-handed.
I'm usually left-handed, but I do some things with my right hand.
Well, I saw a symbol. I don't know how much of me showing in the camera here, but
Yeah.
I saw a symbol of you having your hands out like this.
Aw.
Higher. Leslie's telling me higher. Had her hands out like this. And to me, it's a giving of energy and that
Aw.
she's sharing the energy with you. And she's helping you let go of the concerns you've had that you get very concerned about, and it seems to stick with you in your mind.
It does.
And
Yep.
she's just giving this blessing that it's like I can release this and let go of this and I can move beyond it. And I feel it's not taken away from the importance of whatever's occurring, but it is taken away from the stress you're feeling and bringing you into a calmer level, which now you're sharing even more healing there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. God bless. Next,
Trisha.
Tricia. Tricia.
I had an interesting experience that I thought was very synchronistic. My friend always says, expect a miracle. So she had hip surgery, and I wanted to send her a card. And I found a card that said, expect a miracle. So I sent that to her. Then all of a sudden, she writes me back. She says, interestingly, I just found this quote from Albert Einstein about expect a miracle. And then all of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
I was on Facebook, and my friend posted something that said, we are all miracles.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Quite a
It's kind of
synchronicity.
interesting. I think the universe is saying to believe in miracles.
Absolutely. Not only to think of it in that form, but to create the miracle. And because you're relaxed and in tune to it, it comes through even more. And you're being reinforced by the different events occurring there. And that's going to continue to happen. And, I know my grandmother said to me when I was quite young, she said, if we're putting out the positive energy for spirit to work with us, help us, guide us, and heal us, we're putting out that thought and we do it all the time. Pretty soon, we're getting into the vibration that allows them to work with us even deeper. So obviously, you're getting into the vibration where that harmony is there and the card shows up and the communication shows up and all these things align themselves. And we're needing to trust it more that it's really there, because how many times we go, well, would that work or wouldn't that work, or what did it really mean? And we're needing to follow it because it's really an important gift. And I think it's wonderful you're having that happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless. Next. We have a gentleman sitting here with his hand on his chin. Hey, Glenn.
I'm good for a question. Hi, Reverend Greg. How are you?
Good.
Just had some dental work, so please forgive me. So I'm not talking real well.
That's all right.
I had a root canal this afternoon. I had a question on what you said about annoyance with people.
Yeah.
I think I feel more annoyed dealing with companies, customer service, and then even I would say frustration with people in general. Like someone damaged my son's car and he said he would pay for it, and the gentleman's not responding to our requests, so we're going to be having to pay for the car. So a level of frustration with society, and this gentleman who I would say is not committed to his word. How to work with that? How to work to deal with those situations?
How old is this person?
The gentleman I spoke to on the phone about the car,
Mhm.
I don't know. He said he would commit to paying for it, and now when I sent him the estimates of the car repair, he won't respond. He won't take my phone calls, so he's trying to bail out. We have to pay for that. So there's a level of frustration, I think, with society, with the customer service, lack of patience, but then this situation specifically with my son's car.
Well, I feel an energy there that there's a lot of people having accidents, and there's been quite a bit occur where there's been things that people were just completely irresponsible, and I mean blatantly irresponsible.
Yeah.
And I feel the energy there. Was there ever a police report on that, or it was just, it was between the two of them?
It was between the two. I called him. It was on January 1st, and he said his dog ran into the car. So he understood it, and I said, if we get him 2 estimates, he won't respond. And now he knows he's on the hook for the bill, and he won't pay. And thus, we have to pay for it. So there's a level of frustration with just lack of accountability.
Well, let's say it this way. I've been looking at the world right now and the lack of responsibility and the lack of morals and the lack of few other things that I won't mention, but there's some people out there that I really wonder how they got that old and they can be that dumb.
Yeah.
And sort of ignorant in a sense of how they want to do things. And I feel an energy that it's something that is a lesson for your son also, that he has to reach a point, not only that it's his, in a sense, experience, but it's a focus for him to realize he can't just take things for face value, even though he'd like to.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old is your son now?
He's 19. So he was driving the car at a witness, and So he's understanding that. And there's a level of frustration with myself that I didn't pin the gentleman down further getting his insurance. I assumed he would pay based on his verbal agreement. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm a little upset with myself.
Well, it's too bad that you didn't have some sort of police report and then some form could have been done in that
Yeah.
manner. But I feel the energy there that I feel this guy has been very careless in his life anyhow. And I feel it's just one of many things that he chooses to be irresponsible with. And I'll say it simply, you may not see it happen, but karmically, he's going to have some things coming that I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Yeah.
And I just feel that energy is building up with quite a few people, and they've normally gotten away with things, or at least they could slide by things to some extent. But I feel like that energy on its own is coming to an end. And people are going to be held responsible in ways that they will be shocked at. And I feel that's going to become a very strong energy. You know, the pendulum can only swing so far, and then it starts to swing back. And I feel that we're going to see it swinging back considerably. And the people that normally thought they could just shrug their shoulders and not be responsible, some of them I'm sure get away with things to some extent. But I think it's coming where it's like there's going to be a lot of responsibility held to their, you know, feet to the fire type thing. So that's going to happen. But it's very disturbing to you because not only is it your son, the car, and then you're affected by it also. And I felt the energy there that that person is just deciding that they'll just ignore everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I think in general, I have to manage my own emotions with society, right?
Yes.
And what we're all going through and trying to ground myself and stay peaceful and stay calm and having to do
Well,
that.
let's put it this way. You know, I've had my thoughts about certain situations where the let's say less spiritual side of me has had some thoughts at times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also look at it and go, okay, if we step into that disharmony, it's just bringing more disharmony.
Yeah,
And I know you know that and you're in tune to that, but it does at times need to vent. And I feel venting it is a good energy. And that way I vented it, it's gone, I let go of it.
yeah, yeah,
Because you're a person that has a very high and integrity level in your own life and what you do and how you do.
yeah,
And it's just it's not only the event that occurred, but the whole of society and how it's shifting and how it's been shifting, I feel you're not only aware of, but fully aware of. And it's like we have to be extra cautious. It's like driving the car and it's like, okay, I'm watching, you know, front, back, sides, everything, because people are just completely irresponsible in some ways. They don't even look, they just go. And I've watched that happen on the highway down here, and it's just wild.
yeah. Florida freeways. Oh man, Florida. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, I've noticed some people in different accidents down here where you could randomly see an accident and be driving by, but you know, it's like some of them, I mean, I just can't even believe the destructiveness of how people really can be. I mean, I'm sitting at a red light and it's been red and they blow right through and keep going like it's, you know, nothing at all. And I'd already been sitting there and it was like, okay, not only do we look each direction, we take a moment just to see what else is going on.
yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, just managing my expectations of mankind. I think that's what I need to do.
well, let's put it this way. I think it's very tough to manage the expectations when there's so many people out there that right now are sort of loose cannons. They have no idea what they're doing, and some of them don't care. Yeah. Any other question? Alrighty, anybody else? We have a young lady that put her hand on her chin here.
Melange.
Hello, you didn't think you were gonna get pulled out?
What?
You didn't think you were gonna get pulled forward?
You know, I should know better, but better about all of this by now. Yeah, I'm wondering how to pose my question. It's something that's been on my mind a lot. I can't recall if it was, I think 2 classes ago, something came up that you mentioned, and I've really been trying to look into it. And I'd asked a question to you as to whether at that time, if the fatigue and the sharp pain in my chest was something coming from within me or externally, and you said external. And I, of course, didn't want to probe further on something like that because it sounded more personal, and I don't like to bring up personal things in the group forum. But
Yeah.
now I want to try and attach that to what you were just discussing with Glenn, which is when we're feeling something and we can't discern whether we're creating it or it's something based on our thoughts, our feelings, and then there's a sort of a physiological impact to ourselves, or is it external? I don't have that level of clarity, and I don't know how to develop that level of discernment. It's one thing if someone's coming towards me physically, and then I can feel my reaction to that. But when it's happening purely energetically or psychically,
Mhm.
the only way I feel it is when I'm being impacted, and I don't know the source of it. And since you made that comment to me 2 months ago, I think I figured out the source, and it's 2 separate sources as far as I think I'm aware of. And those 2 sources are very closely connected to one another, but not really closely connected to me.
Well, they're generating energy with each other and they have the same moral approach, or I should say lack of.
Yes.
And I feel the energy around it that you've singled out where that fits.
Oh, and I have a feeling that one of those 2 has been trying to connect to me telepathically.
Yes.
How
You've
do I
had them
block
pop in
that?
your mind unexpectedly,
Oh, yeah.
and they've just popped in like, why am I thinking about them? And I
Yes.
want to say they're probing, and I want to say you can put up your own wall and bless them elsewhere, preferably further away.
Yep.
But I feel by going ahead and you're now understanding it, which now you can now create that ability to block it. It's like, my mother used to say to me at times when I was little, I'd get very upset coming home from school because there'd be kids at school pick on you, and they were psychically manipulating also because of the generation of energy,
Yeah.
and she would wet her finger and touch her third eye.
Okay.
And I did that at school, and the kid started stuttering and he couldn't figure out what to say to me, and he walked away. And the link of energy that when you were unaware of what they were doing, or even to the point of who was doing it, you're now understanding who's doing it. And in essence, it's like short circuiting the energy that they're linking with you, and I'm cutting them off. And it's like, bless them somewhere else, further away is great, but you're creating a barrier now that you may see them somewhere and they look at you rather strange because they can't make the connection. They can't hone in and pull on your energy.
Well, that's just the thing. I have no contact with these people, and I haven't for 4 years. These are former neighbors of mine. And I don't understand why I need to be a part of their life in any capacity if we don't live near one another anymore. I've moved 5 times in the last 4 years.
Well,
So
let me explain it this way. When you were living there and you were the neighbor, okay, Did you at times feel fatigued and drained?
Oh, absolutely. I felt my life force was being sucked out of me. I couldn't
You were a
function.
battery and they were jumping over the energy and pulling your energy and doing it all the time, which in some levels it was horrible for you because you were exhausted over it. But I feel when you made the move, you in a sense created a distance between you and them, but now they've tried psychically to pull on you and still link in. You know, it's leaching energy all the time. And that's where now you understand it and you can put the barrier up. You know, I always create a mirror in my mind, and I create a mirror that whatever they're sending out, it reflects back to them. And whatever happens to them is their own energy, and it has nothing to do with you. You're just creating a mirror and let them reflect in the mirror the energy they're sending out. Because if they're reaching out to pull from you, it reverses back and pulls from them.
Now, I've been exhausted for the last 5 months, and I've been at home for 5 months trying to pick myself up so that I can step forward out into my professional life. And I'm feeling kind of at my wit's end with all of this. When I can get myself out there and lock down a job, I'm going to be back out in a public forum. You know, I'm relatively
Yes.
safe, hiding behind closed doors at home. This aspect of me that seems to attract the energy vampires, where I can't see them doing what they're doing, I'm only expecting that that's going to get stronger.
Well,
I'm
then
going
let me say it this way. You don't have to recognize, quote, the person,
to.
but you can recognize them pulling. I've had it happen where I didn't recognize the person, but what I did is I surrounded myself in like a capsule, a bubble, and nothing but good can come to me and nothing but good can leave. And that way I neutralize all the energies. And by having that thought and doing that in a meditative manner, you're creating that flow of energy that you're building your energy, and it's in a contained field that it'll really manifest wonderfully. And no one can reach in and pull from it, and
Are
you
you,
let it rebuild. And
are
I
you
think you'll be
doing
amazed how
something?
quickly that can happen.
Well, I'm feeling cool air around me as you're talking, so I'm wondering, are you
Yes.
actually doing that around me as you're talking?
Yes, I'm imagining it around you
Thank
already,
you.
and I'm creating that thought that you can then follow through on, and you can pick up on that same energy and expand that bubble of energy. You know, I'll say it this way. To me, I was taught as a child that when you're having things like that happen, my grandmother would always say to me, put your arms out. This is your space.
Mhm.
You know, and your arms reach in a circular manner, it's your space, only your energy. You're not losing any awareness or sensitivity to what's outside of that, but this is my space. And as I was thinking about you and I was projecting the thought to you that let's put together this bubble, create the capsule, create the energy that I'm inside this and it's wonderful. And I can look out and see everything going on, but it can't pull from me. And what we choose to do in a sense of giving energy to someone, if you had, say, an example of a family member or a friend or something in need, you could certainly reach through in a loving manner. But it's not somebody can pull from you.
Yeah,
You notice the temperature change?
yeah, yeah. It's as though the windows opened and they're, you know, it's winter, so they still shut. It was very discernible, the shift in temperature.
You've been noticing in the solar plex area, you feel a different energy?
I feel it in my knees, my thighs, and I felt it around me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a wonderful guide also that steps in, and I was watching them work with you, and what I was projecting in thought and energy to you, they stepped right in and worked with. And I think you're going to see some changes because your ability not only to see more or perceive more, but I can do it now with clarity because I don't have all the confused energy around me.
Mm. Is this a new guide who's come into my life, or one of my older guides who's one of the
I
ones?
feel you have an older guide with you, but the newer guide came in and they're working with the changes on the earth plane here, the energy that's occurring, and they're working with you to bring more harmony.
Oh,
You've also noticed in your home that you've had a different scent or smell that you couldn't figure out what it was for a little bit.
I'm not sure.
Don't be surprised if you smell something, it's going to be almost like an incense type smell. And I feel the new guide comes in, and the new guide is Indian from India. And that guide is working with you, and they're stepping in a way that you may smell
My
the herbal smell
God.
when they're there for you.
I find that ironic and funny. I'm not, my ethnicity is Indian, but I'm drawn to Native American Indian. I'm not, I don't
Yes.
have any attraction or pull to the people of my ancestry.
Well,
So
this gentleman's wearing red, and I don't know if I would term him a monk, but it's something very similar if he's not, if the title of the monk doesn't fit him completely, but I feel him with you and he's working with your energy.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? There's a lady here in her easy chair with the blue. Hello,
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
I
Would,
didn't I didn't really have a question. I'm just, yeah. I mean, I maybe I do, but I'm not really thinking about it.
well, let me put it this way. I saw spirit go to you and you were having a little discomfort in the low back or hip area
Yes, very much so. Yes.
because I was sitting here and spirit said to me that it wasn't mine, it was yours.
Yes.
And I feel they're wanting to work with you on the healing and that they will be working with you. Would you have any memory of waking up at night and thinking there was someone standing by the bed with you recently?
Yes.
Because they're showing me they're working on you and they're working with the healing energy. And I felt the back, the hip area, and something to do with the knee.
Yes, my knees hurt too. I have inflammatory illnesses, and then I do have a lot of pain, chronic pain. Yes. And
Okay.
yeah, it's been bad in the last week, a lot more than normal.
Well,
Yeah.
this entity was showing me they stood by your bed and they were working with you and they're continuing to work with you. But they came to me and said, we want her to know that we're working with her.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I are they they I've had a sense of new entities, as you would call them, come into me,
Yes.
and they're also they're working with me to well, they're always doing that, but to increase my understanding of time and yeah, timelines and space, and
Well,
there's a
you
lot
you astrally travel
all the time. I
because
get
I've
tired.
seen you out of the body, like you just pop in and out like a yo-yo. And I feel like you travel quite often. And I
Yeah,
felt the energy there that they wanted to come to you and say, we're with you, we're helping you, we're working with the body and the healing, and they want you to know it.
thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I think they're like spirits from different, like I said, timelines. There's not all of them are earthlings, but I really like them.
Well,
They're
I
like,
I was going to tell you, dear, that there's extraterrestrial involved in this,
Yes,
And I feel that there are entities that I would term, quote, spirit from the
yes,
earth plane energy,
yes,
but I see an extraterrestrial energy, and I feel they blend together and work with you, and
that's
they're
right.
going to be helping you more.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you. It makes me
You're
feel
welcome.
happy. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thanks. Oh,
All righty. Any other question? The lady with the weight, and you just looked up at me, Louise? Hello?
Yeah, I just had to unmute. Thank you.
Hi. May I
Hi.
come to you?
Sure, thank you.
I feel an energy with you of a gentleman in spirit that as we were sitting here, I saw him walk behind you and he took his hands and put them over your shoulders. And I feel an energy with him of being a very gentle person, very caring. And he just wants you to be at peace. He said she gets into a little turmoil over other people and where they're at and what's happening in their lives.
Mhm.
And he's working with you and through you in a way to bring harmony to them. But they said, you've got a couple people there that create their own disharmony. That would make sense there?
Well, I create my own too, but I think I'm getting better at diffusing it.
Oh, I think you're diffusing it wonderfully. I just feel there's a couple people around you there that they haven't figured that out yet. And I feel your ability to diffuse it in your life is working well.
Oh,
And I
thank
feel
you.
more of a calmness coming in that. And have you noticed that there's times you've been seeing what I would say is like flickers or sparkles of little lights?
Yeah, I do. I do all the time for years.
Because spirits show me they're doing that for you to let you know they're with you. And they want you to know that you have a lot more help on the spirit side than maybe at times you're thinking.
Oh,
But I see these little flickers and flashes, and they're doing
yeah,
that and saying that you know they're there.
yeah, I do. You know what?
And it's,
If I can ask something, it's the energy in the other room, in the bedroom.
yes.
There's a darkness in there that makes me uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And I don't know what you pick up with that room, but I'm trying to lighten it up and I really don't know how to do it.
I feel an energy there that I want to smudge the room. I feel do a little smudging there and invite them to go on to a higher level because I feel there's someone there that has hung on. When they left the body, they did not want to leave and they fought the idea of leaving, but it was a destiny for them to go on. But I feel like that particular vortex of energy there, they're able to put energy in that you'd feel and sense the energy there. And I want to surround that and bless them and send them on. And you're going to notice then a shift of energy where you're not going to feel that heaviness.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I wonder if somebody died in that room, that's what I'm picking up, but it's, because I don't know where this person who doesn't want to pass on came from.
I don't feel any connection to you. I feel a connection to the residency.
Uh-huh, right.
And I feel by you doing that smudging and you're surrounding them in light and blessing to send on, they'll go.
Oh,
They'll
good.
go.
I like that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
You too, thanks.
Take care. Alrighty. Well, we've been a little bit over, and that's fine. And I'm looking forward to the next class, and that'll be fun. And we'll see what we have come through then. And God bless all of you, and enjoyed having you here. And I hope that's some guidance or answers that'll be helpful to you.
Thank you so much.
God bless.